Jaya Jaya Sri Caitanya Jaya Nityananda.
Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda.
Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda.
Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda.
Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda.
Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda.
Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
श्री चैतन्य भागवत की जय।
Jai.
श्रील वृंदावन दास ठाकुर की जय।
Jai.
श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय।
Jai.
समवेत गौर भक्त वृंद की जय।
Jai.
ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमो ओं विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा हरे कृष्णा कृष्णा कृष्णा
Krishna
हरे
Krishna Hare Hare
हरे राम राम राम
Rama
हरे
Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, dear devotees, welcome to this week's Caitanya Bhagavat reading. So, I'll give a very quick recap. We are reading about Nityananda Prabhu's travels to West Bengal. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked Nityananda Prabhu to go out and preach aggressively. If he simply stayed in Jagannath Puri, how will the whole world be delivered? So then Nityananda Prabhu left Jagannath Puri along with his associates, the eternal associates of Lord Balaram, his cowherd boyfriends. And then we saw how while coming to Bengal, because they were always in ecstasy, they would forget the path and they would get lost here and there, meaning they would just go in the opposite direction for 12 miles, like that. Somehow or other, by the Lord's arrangement, they arrived in Panihati. Then we saw Nityananda Prabhu's pastimes in Raghav Pandit's house. Also, we saw about the garland of champaka flowers, right? Like on the lime tree, Raghav Pandit saw champaka flowers, and then also we saw about Damanaka flower fragrance. That was actually Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wearing the Damanaka. He actually appeared as the tree, Damanaka tree, in 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 Raghav Pandit's home. So after that, we also saw how Nityananda Prabhu went to different devotees' homes. Chaitanya Das, he met Chaitanya Das, and who else on the way? Mahaprabhu met various devotees, and Mahaprabhu means Nityananda Prabhu. And then in this way, he decided, now I want to go to uh, Navadvip. I want to go to Navadvip because I want to see Sachimata. So then we saw last weekend, we saw Nityananda Prabhu arrived in Advaita Acharya's home and how Advaita Acharya went into ecstasy. He offered obeisances to Nityananda Prabhu, embraced him, and he started offering glorification of Nityananda Prabhu, offering prayers to Nityananda Prabhu. So there we saw how um, whenever there's fights between Advaita Acharya and Nityananda Prabhu, we shouldn't take them seriously. It was actually an expression of love, like this. Then from there, first of all, Nityananda Prabhu went and visited Sachi Mata's place. And Sachi Mata was so happy. She was feeling so much separation from Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. When Nityananda Prabhu came, she became enlivened and she requested, please stay here for some days, for 10 days. And Nityananda Prabhu said, I came here just for you, right? So he would stay. And then he started going around in Navadip. And how was he dressed? That's what we were reading. So I'll continue now. I'll just read. So I can go a couple of verses back. So with his companions, 507, with his companions going from house to house in Navadvip, Lord Nityananda enjoyed pastimes of kirtan. Kirtans in Navadvip, Lord Nityananda became like this person. Lord Nityananda always enjoyed pastimes of Sankirtan. Elaborately dressed as the great wrestler of Sankirtan, how charming was Lord Nityananda. Simply by seeing him, everyone attained piety and bliss. On his head was a turban of many different kinds of silk. Above that were many different graceful flower garlands. On his neck were necklaces of gold, pearls, and many kinds of jewels. On his ears were peerless earrings of pearls and gold. On his wrists and arms were golden bracelets and armlets. I do not know how many flower garlands decorated his body. His every limb was anointed with sandal paste and gorochana, the fragrant paste. His pastimes were always like those of Lord Krishna as a small cowherd boy. With his 10 fingers, each wearing a golden ring, he playfully held a wonderful iron rod. He was playfully and splendidly dressed in wonderful, colorful yellow, blue, and white silk. These are the colors of Nityananda Prabhu's clothes: yellow, blue, and white silk. A flute and a bamboo rod were stuck in his belt. Seeing him or remembering him, the people of the world felt their hearts drawn to him. Silver anklets glistened on his graceful feet. So this is also important. Sometimes Devotees think golden ankle bells. No, ankle bells are always silver. Silver anklets glistened on his graceful feet. His words were sublimely sweet. His walking and gestures were graceful, like the king of elephants. In whatever direction Lord Nityananda looked, the personified nectar of pure love for Lord Krishna at once appeared. So, if you remember, even in other places before coming to Navadvip, whenever Nityananda Prabhu performed Kirtan, of course, he himself was in ecstasy. And in his ecstasy, wherever he glanced, it's like getting an electric shock or something. Whoever he looked upon, that person also would go into ecstasy. Even small little children, they would just, it's like, in when we were small, we used to play this. I think in different parts of the world they have different names, but like shock. You touch someone and the person just has to stand still, and then someone else will come and touch, and now that person will start running. So like that. So here, not even touch is required. Simply by glancing, right? You just glance, and the person would be surcharged with Krishna Prema, like that. So wherever Nityananda Prabhu glanced, all the people, and it not even looking on one particular person, just in one direction, he would just glance in one direction, and all the people in that direction would just become ecstatic in Krishna Prema. So, yeah, in whatever direction, right? Just in that direction, whatever direction Lord Nityananda Prabhu looked, the personified nectar of pure love for Lord Krishna at once appeared. So, love for Krishna, also a person, right? The person would just appear there. So, personified nectar of pure love for Lord Krishna at once appeared. In this way, Lord Nityananda very happily enjoyed pastimes in Navadvip, the place of Lord Chaitanya's birth. Navadvip was like the royal capital of Mathura. So Navadvip is like Mathura, a royal capital city. Many, many people lived there. I do not know how many. Seeing the saintly people there, a sinner would become free of the greatest sins. Simply by seeing many saintly persons lived in Navadvip. We just know some. Advaitacharya, Srivas Thakur, right? So many, many lived. And anyone who simply saw sadhu sanga, sarva shastra koi, lava matra sadhu sanga. What is that sadhu sanga? Even if you simply looked at them, lava matra sadhu sanga, sarva siddhi hoy. So even if a very sinful person, if he simply saw these saintly people, he would become free of all the greatest sins. Also, touching the shadow of the sinners there would destroy all piety. So, Navadvip was such a city, it's like a royal capital city of Mathura. There were very, very exalted saintly people, but there were also such sinners, wise sinners, very, very materialistic people. There were such sinners that even by touching the shadow of their sin, a very pious person would lose all his piety. That's also there. So all types of people live there. Most exalted sadhus also lived, and also most sinful people also lived there. Also, touching the shadow of the sinners there would destroy all piety. By Lord Nityananda's mercy, the people there were sincerely attracted to the path of devotion to Lord Krishna. Right? So the people now, by the mercy of Nityananda Prabhu, all the people there were attracted to bhakti. Many had already been saved by Lord Chaitanya. Now Lord Nityananda would deliver everyone else in the three worlds. This is the special mercy of Nityananda Prabhu. Just like Jagai and Madhai, right? They were like the rejects. But Nityananda Prabhu goes to the most fallen, the rejected people, and he gives them Krishna Prema. So Mahaprabhu already delivered through his Sankirtan movements. Everyone, most people were delivered. But whoever, held back, whoever could not come into the trap of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, trap of Krishna Prema. Whoever escaped, now Nityananda Prabhu came to take them all into bhakti. This is the mercy of Sri Nityananda Prabhu. So many had already been saved by Lord Chaitanya. Now Lord Nityananda would deliver everyone else in the three worlds, what to speak of just Navadvip, in the three worlds, in America, in Europe, all over the earth, all over the three worlds in the whole universe. Nityananda Prabhu would deliver everyone. Lord Nityananda delivered many swindlers, thieves, and fallen sinners. So you will actually see, like there are pastimes of Nityananda Prabhu, how he delivered dacoits. And please remember that it's not just during Nityananda Prabhu's manifest pastime. Even now it is Nityananda Prabhu's manifest pastimes only. If any sinner, lowly person is getting delivered, you should know this is by the mercy of Sri Nityananda Prabhu coming down through his representatives. But it is the mercy of Sri Nityananda Prabhu. You will see after, like Rasikananda Thakur, how he delivered, right? And many you will see. So at the time of Nityananda Prabhu, he delivered thieves. So that pastime is there. But after that also, our acharyas, how they encountered like very deadly people who would kill dacoits, and they were all turned. Whole villages were turned into Vaishnavas. Like the whole community of thieves became Vaishnavas. This is the mercy of Nityananda Prabhu. So whoever, uh, you know, kept himself, like whoever didn't join Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu or whoever stayed away from the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they were also pulled into bhakti by the mercy of Nityananda Prabhu. So Lord Nityananda Prabhu delivered many swindlers, thieves, and fallen sinners. Here, please hear how Lord Nityananda delivered many thieves. So this is the pastime. In Navadvip lived a Brahmana's son who had no peer among the thieves. He's the son of a Brahmana, but there is no thief like him. He's the most, you can say, expert, and also the most, and therefore most degraded type of person, right? He's the son of a Brahmana. In Navadvip lived a Brahmana son who had no peer among the thieves. He was a Brahmana in name only. His heart was filled with evil. He was the commander of an army of thieves. He was the chief, right? Sometimes, uh, you know, in old movies, you will see always there's like a gang of thieves, right? There's one chief of all the thieves, all the dacoits. So this person is like that, a chief of all the thieves. He had an army of thieves. So he was a Brahmana in name only. His heart was filled with evil. He was the commander of an army of thieves. There was no mercy in his body. He always happily stayed among thieves. And usually these people, they live in their own, like at least they have their hiding place, meeting place where they keep all their weapons, and, they plan how they're going to plunder someone or murder someone, attack, right? Uh, Sometime, and usually they do it secretly, but during the day they can be amongst everyone else, like just like this person is a Brahmana, supposedly, right? A Brahmana, but then his activities were all sinful. He always stayed happily among thieves. Seeing Lord Nityananda's ornaments, so that's why we were discussing in the beginning how Nityananda Prabhu dressed, right? His pearl earrings, silver ankle bells, gold armlets and bangles, and so many gold necklaces. All this was Nityananda Prabhu really dressed himself up with beautiful ornaments, costly ornaments. So seeing Lord Nityananda's ornaments, the glistening necklaces of gold, pearls, and coral, and seeing the many valuable things that decorated his graceful limbs, the Brahmana thief decided to rob them all. Concealing his desire to rob the Lord of his wealth, the thief stayed always in Lord Nityananda's company. So you see, he was the son of a Brahmana. So he would come. So Nityananda Prabhu obviously is surrounded by associates. They will also all go wherever he goes, right? He's performing Sankirtan in everyone's. He would just go wherever he went, he would perform Sankirtan. So this person would stay in the close entourage of Nityananda Prabhu like a Brahmana, like a devotee. He would just be, but he's just looking for an opportunity. His motive is to steal all the ornaments of Nityananda Prabhu. So he joined the company. He would just go wherever Nityananda Prabhu went. Concealing his desire to rob the Lord of his wealth, the thief stayed always in Lord Nityananda's company. In his heart, Lord Nityananda knew, of course, Nityananda Prabhu is there, right? So he is the source. He is the, Paramatma is his expansion, Nityananda Prabhu's expansion. So Nityananda Prabhu, in his heart, knew this wicked Brahmana was not a good person. A good Brahmana named Hiranya Pandit lived in Navadvip. He had no material possessions. Associating with no one else, Lord Nityananda now stayed in the home of this fortunate devotee. What is the name of this devotee? Hiranya Pandit. So we read about these two devotees even in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's childhood pastime, Jagadish and Hiranya. Remember, when Mahaprabhu was a child, he wanted to eat. Today's Ekadasi, by the way, the first Ekadasi of 2024. So on Ekadasi day, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted to eat the bhoga that was cooked by these two devotees, Jagadish and Hiranya. They were brothers, neighbors of Jagannath Mishra. So then, yeah, that pastime, I think you all remember. And then the parents were like shocked. What is this? He's asking for grains and on Ekadasi and he wants to eat from them. What will they think? How can we do that? But then, uh, when they heard about this, and he was like really adamant, right? He just wanted it. So then when they heard about this, they were so surprised and they brought all the bhoga, whatever they had actually cooked for the deity, they just brought it all and gave it to little Nimai. And they were so surprised. How did this boy know that today is Ekadasi and we cooked such, he was just a small little boy, and we cooked such nice offerings for the deity. How did he know? Like that. So this is Hiranya Pandit, Jagadish and Hiranya Pandit. And we read later also, afterwards also, how, you know, um, they were sent to, I think, I forget if it is Hiranya Pandit or Jagadish. They were sent to some other place and they were worshipping a deity. We read in the first, in the Adi Leela of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, in the Chaitanya tree, their name comes. So this is Hiranya Pandit. So a good Brahmana named Hiranya Pandit lived in Navadvip. He had no material possessions. Associating with no one else, Lord Nityananda now stayed in the home of this fortunate devotee. Meanwhile, the evil-minded Brahmana thief met with other thieves and told them his plan. "Oh, my brothers, why should we be unhappy any longer? Mother Durga has brought a great treasure house of wealth to a place nearby." Another example, right? That is why it is said in Navadvip, there are very sinful people. So here he is a thief, but he is a very, devout worshipper of goddess Durga, goddess Chandi, right? So generally, who worship them? Who worships the demigods? Those who are very, very materialistic, right? They are the ones who worship, and especially thieves and rogues and dacoits. We see always, right? You remember in Jad Bharat's episode how the dacoits they just, uh, you know, practically took him to, like kidnapped him to go and offer as Bali to goddess Kali. So these thieves, dacoits, generally they worship goddess Kali, goddess Durga. So this Brahmana, so-called Brahmana, is telling his thieves friends, Mother Durga has brought a great treasure house of wealth to a place nearby. On the limbs of Avadhuta Nityananda are many ornaments of gold, pearls, and diamonds. There is nothing like these ornaments. What is the money value of all these ornaments? I do not know. Mother Durga has put them all in one place, right? This is all Durga Devi's blessing on us, right? She has sent so much wealth to us in the form of this person. Now we don't have to go and steal here, there, and everywhere else. Just if we rob this one person, we can live peacefully for the rest of our lives. There's so much wealth on his body. And this is the blessing of God, Mother Durga. Now they are all in Hiranya's house. All this wealth is in Hiranya's house. In half an hour, we will rob them all. Taking our swords and shields, tonight we will go there and attack. Agreeing on this plan, the thieves met at night. Armed with swords, daggers, and tridents, the thieves went to the place where Lord Nityananda stayed. Sending a spy ahead, the thieves waited at a certain place. So this is in the night, obviously. So they sent a spy to see what is the situation before they all went and attacked. Meanwhile, Lord Nityananda, inside the house, was eating, and in the four directions the devotees chanted the holy names of Lord Hari. Lord Nityananda's companions were wild with the ecstasy of love for Lord Krishna. One devotee roared like a lion, another made a sound like thunder, another, tasting the nectar of love for Lord Krishna, wept, another clapped his hands and loudly laughed. Ha, hi, 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 another exclaimed, filled with the bliss of love for Lord Krishna. No one slept. So they were thinking that they'll go in the night when everyone is sleeping and they'll go and attack and they'll just steal all the wealth. But nobody was sleeping. Rather, there was such commotion inside the house because they were all wild in the ecstasy of love for Lord Krishna. They were screaming and they were roaring and they were laughing and clapping. There was a lot of, it was like a party inside, right? So the spy returned to the thieves. The Avadut is eating. Everyone is awake, was his report. The thieves said, let them eat. When they are asleep, we will attack. We will wait for them to sleep. Eventually, they'll sleep anyway. Happy that they would soon plunder great wealth, the thieves sat under a tree. One of them said, the gold bracelets and armlets are mine. Another said, I will take the pearl necklace. Another said, I will take the earrings. Another said, I will take the gold necklace. Another said, I will take the silver anklets. Their minds became absorbed in these thoughts, right? Like your mind becomes fixed on something, you cannot think of anything else. I just need to get that thing. I need to get that thing. And what to speak of if I'm going to get, right? My father is going to buy that for me today, then you cannot think of anything else except that thing. It's going to come, it's going to come. It was like this for them, that I'm going to get that gold necklace. Oh, just in a short time, right? We will attack and that wealth is going to be mine, like that. So their minds became absorbed in these thoughts. By Lord Nityananda's wish, 556, by Lord Nityananda's wish, the goddess of sleep came and put a veil around those thieves. So while meditating on what they were going to steal, they fell asleep. This happened by Lord Nityananda's wish, right? Otherwise, they were very, very alert. How can you sleep when you're so excited about something, isn't it? But this was by Nityananda Prabhu's wish that Nidra Devi came and they all just fell deep asleep. At once, the thieves fell asleep. They were all unconscious. Practically, they were in such deep sleep, they were unconscious. They were all bewildered by the Lord's Maya. Then dawn came. Still they were not awake. When the crows cawed, the thieves awakened. They did not see the night. They did not even see the night. They were unhappy at heart. They hurriedly hid their swords and shields in the forest. Then the thieves hurried to bathe in the Ganga, right? It's morning, so you have to go and take a bath. At the end, the thieves returned to their own place. They violently quarreled. One of them said, you fell asleep first. Another said, you slept very soundly. Another said, why should we quarrel? Today, saintly goddess Durga rescued us. The wicked Brahmana, who was the commander of that army of thieves, said, why should we quarrel? Whatever happened was goddess Durga's will. One day may pass. Does that mean that all the days are gone? So, like this. So, at first, they were all fighting with each other. That, oh, they lost that opportunity, right? Why did you sleep? Why did you slept first? And then the chief said, calm down, right? We'll go again tomorrow. But just imagine if we were caught, like we are all fast asleep with all these weapons, if somebody had seen us, we would have been in great danger. So this is all by the mercy of Goddess Durga that nobody detected us and we are safe. We will try again. Don't be disappointed. So we will read again tomorrow. I will end here. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.